Our St. Louis Dragons have made it into the second round of the playoffs. Today we travel to Atlanta. The top-seeded Falcons, our opponent, with an NFC Championship spot on the line. The Dragons are looking to continue their Cinderella potential run here, coming off a shocking upset in the first round of the playoffs in San Francisco against the 49ers, in which we beat them 24-9. Our defense played fantastic the entire game. The offense wasn't so good, but we didn't need them to be good with how strong we were defensively. We were the only lower-seeded team to win, meaning we're the only wild card team left in the playoff race, and our first-round win was the biggest margin of defeat of any of the first-round games, which is really impressive. Again, despite the offense having an off day, we only scored 8 points after the first quarter, and Puma Whitlock really did not play very well in his first NFL playoff game, but luckily the defense held tough. Brock Purdy was not able to play his game. The Niners really were not aggressive play calling at all. They rarely went downfield, and I think that's what costed them. They played way too conservatively, way too scared, and they struggled up front. Christian McCaffrey only averaged 3.2 yards a carry. It wasn't his fault. It was that the offensive line was a train wreck. Deebo Samuel, the Offensive Player of the Year, was held up to just 61 receiving yards. And then obviously the story of the game being the defense. Even without our best pass rusher, Simeon Bonnet, we still had consistent pressure going to the quarterback. And we also had two safeties, one for DeJuan Overton, one for Javon Kinlaw. Kinlaw's doesn't show up in the stat sheet for some reason. I don't know why, but he had one as well. The field position battle, we dominated early on. Presley Harvin played very well early, and I think that's a big reason why we got both safeties when we did. Puma Whitlock did win the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I'm not really sure how. He didn't play very well. Again, barely completing 50% of his passes, but he had some big runs. He had a big throw, and I guess that's why. So now let's take a look at the bracket where it is. The 7 division winners and us are left here in the playoffs, and we get to travel to Atlanta, the top-seeded Falcons, here for the divisional round. The fun thing about our game is that it is on the primetime slot for Sunday night, so we're going to know the results of the other 3 games, including the other NFC game between Minnesota and Dallas, so we know who will be the first team going to the NFC Championship. Let's take a look at this Falcons team throughout the season. They started a little bit up and down, but since their bye week, they've been really good, only losing 1 game in that stretch. We played against Atlanta back in Week 13, which, ironically, in the regular season is 1 week after we embarrassed San Francisco on the road, and we just embarrassed the Niners at their place again, so I found that kind of fitting. We lost to the Falcons 38-24, and I think this game really shows the inconsistencies that our team has had. 1 week, we allow 10 points. The next week, we allow 38 points. Hopefully that does not end up being the case again, being that our defense just allowed 9 points. This game was the Arturo Modelo breakout game, despite losing, which is unfortunate because Arturo Modelo got hurt against San Francisco, and we will not have him today. Since our matchup, the Falcons have played pretty well, going 4-1, beating multiple playoff teams like the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Rams. As we take a look at this Atlanta team, obviously they're headlined by the skill position players they have on offense, but I think their roster as a whole is pretty well-rounded, and quarterback Desmond Ridder is legitimately one of the better QBs in the NFL. The Falcons have been a pretty good team throughout this series, and they're looking to finally get over the hump after a great regular season. They're a really solid team on both sides of the ball. Good offensive line play, good pass rush. DJ Orleans and John Franklin Myers combined for 20 sacks between the two of them. And this defense is one of the better units in the NFL, so it should certainly be a challenge, especially with a couple of big injuries that we got against San Francisco. One on offense, one on defense. Damone Clark tore his labrum. He played really well in place of Owen Popo, and now he's out. And then the big one, of course, is the rookie wide receiver Arturo Modelo, who broke his hand, and his season will be over. we're going to put him on IR. Modelo's been playing very well over the last few weeks. He was looking really good against San Francisco before he got injured, but now we're going to need some depth to replace him. And I'm going to sign Jarvis Landry out of free agency. If you remember, Landry was on our roster for a few weeks last year, so he already has a familiarity to the system, which is why I ultimately chose him, despite the fact that there were probably better options. So with that, we will hop into our NFC Divisional Round matchup with a spot in the NFC Championship on the line here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The winner of the Vikings and Cowboys game awaits either us or the Falcons. The Dragons look to continue their Cinderella run. This team has never made the playoffs in their franchise's history until this year, sneaking into the 7th seed in the NFC. And then they go into San Francisco, a division rival, and embarrass them 24-9 in a defensive slugfest where neither team scored a touchdown after the first quarter and where the Dragons had 2 safeties. That game wasn't pretty, but they still won fairly convincingly, and I'm curious to see if they can carry the momentum into this matchup against the number 1 seeded Atlanta Falcons, who are the overall favorite in the NFC to make it out of the conference and make the Super Bowl, especially with the 49ers, who looked like their biggest threats on paper, out of the race. We'll see if the Dragons can continue to shock the world and make it to the NFC Championship, or if the Falcons can end their Cinderella run. Atlanta will open up on offense, so here's a look at Desmond Ridder and the gang. Ritter's coming off a very solid season in his 4th year out of the University of Cincinnati, throwing for just under 4,000 yards and 32 touchdowns. He's got a lot of weapons at his disposal. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, all former top 10 picks. First play from scrimmage. Bijan is wide open downfield. Busted coverage from Jelani Tavai, and Bijan Robinson gains 37 yards. A quick start for the Falcon offense, who already has it into enemy territory. The Niners did not have one play of 37 yards all of last week. Nice throw up the middle. Atlanta now to the 22. That's Donovan Peoples-Jones who comes down with it. The Niners were never this close to the end zone. Atlanta already at the 22-yard line, and we're a minute into the game. Ridder, play action, connects with London, who gets it to the 3. So this is just completely different from the Niners, who kept checking the ball down the entire game. Atlanta's been aggressive early, and it's paying off. First and goal, it's the fullback, Ralston, in for a touchdown, and Atlanta quickly is on the board. Or are they? Not so fast. This one is coming back. It's a holding call against the starting center, Trust Adams, and they're going to have to move back to the 12-yard line. The Dragons dodge a major bullet, and we'll see if Atlanta can punch it in. Now 3rd and goal. Ridder under pressure, rolls out to the right side, and he throws it into the back of the end zone. So the holding call ends up being a 4-point swing. The Dragons get very lucky there, only allowing a field goal, assuming Younghoe Koo makes it. Now this one's only from 29, and Koo's one of the best kickers in the game as he splits the uprights. And so Atlanta will strike first, marching all the way down the field, but getting held up in the red zone and being forced to kick a field goal. Dragons offense with it. 3rd and 6. Puma rolls out to the right. Under pressure, incomplete. He tried to throw the ball to either Swift or Williams. They were both open, and they both went through the ball. And because of that, it's an incomplete pass, and the Dragons are going to have to punt it. Here is the Atlanta offense quickly getting the ball back. Is on 1st down. Bijan Robinson breaks a tackle, then gets lit up, fumbles it, and it's picked up by the defense. Trajan Bleichenden recovers the fumble, forced by Jordan Whitehead. In real time, that ball looked like it was clearly out. Yeah, that's no doubt a fumble. Big hit by Jordan Whitehead, who's been a fantastic player this season. Easily one of the best players on the defense. He forces a big turnover, and the offense gets phenomenal field position, pretty much in the red zone. From the 18, it's a pitch to the right side. Swift with blocks, breaks a tackle, and gets it to the 6-yard line. So the Dragons are marching closer and closer, but they're having trouble punching it in. 3rd and goal from the 7. Puma looks to throw it, under pressure, and he has to throw it away. Both of the edge rushers quickly into the backfield, and so the Dragons get stopped in the red zone, and they will have to kick a field goal. 24-yard try for Cameron Dicker. The kicker is good, and so St. Louis knots this one up at 3. Feel like they could have gotten more off the turnover with such good field position as Atlanta gets it back. Bijan Robinson with a nice run to the 50. Atlanta moving the ball slowly but surely here on this possession. They're really trying to get the run game going after pretty much exclusively throwing it on their first drive. Bijan bounces off a blocker on 3rd and 2. He gains around 12. Nice run there by Bijan Robinson, who's been playing well since the fumble. And the Falcons are getting pretty close to the end zone. They have it now at the 30-yard line as it's a 1st and 10 with 3 to go in the quarter. Play action fake. Ritter looks short. It's Kyle Pitts, the ultra-talented tight end, who gains around 12. The Falcons have it back into the red zone, and after their last trip, they know they've got to punch this one in and look to score the first touchdown of the game. From the 18 on 1st and 10, Ritter looking deep, and it is caught in the end zone for a touchdown by Romeo Doubs. The Atlanta Falcons will get the lead back. Big throw by Ritter, threading the needle in between 2 defenders. Demore Diggins covered Doubs, and he ultimately beat him on the route. Jordan Whitehead tries to come in and jar the ball out, but he gets there too late as Romeo Doubs is able to hang on to it. And so the Atlanta Falcons lead 10-3. The Dragons offense needs to respond. They haven't played well since the first quarter of last week. Puma under a ton of pressure, he is sacked. John Franklin Myers leads the way. That's going to be a loss of 8 or so. The offensive line not looking too hot early as it's 3rd and long. Puma looks to throw it. Backs up in the pocket. Sails it downfield. Takes a shot for J-Mo. And it's incomplete. Good coverage in the secondary by Clark Phillips, the 3rd-year corner out of Utah. Nobody was open there, so Puma decides to take a shot. I think he's like 1 for 6 so far with 2 yards. Not ideal. What's also not ideal is letting Desmond Ritter get all this running room. That was a 3rd and 7 as well. The coverage did their part, but the pass rushers were unable to bring him down in the backfield, and instead it turns into a big run for the Falcons. Into the second quarter, Atlanta looking good early. They lead 10-3. Nice throw up the middle on the slant pattern. It's hauled in by Drake London. Ritter has been targeting Demore Diggins early, and so far Diggins has really struggled in coverage. 1st and goal from the 7. Ritter looking for the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown by Drake London. And so the Falcons add to their lead. The Dragons did not let San Francisco get into the red zone once last week, yet Atlanta's already done it 3 times, 2 of which have ended up as touchdowns. The Dragons trail 17-3 early with 2 first-half touchdown passes from Desmond Ritter. The offense is going to have to wake up. Puma Whitlock is off to another slow start. Hopefully he can get it together before things get ugly. 2nd and 10, Puma under pressure, goes up the middle for Griffin Weaver III, who gets it to the 37-yard line. Weaver is basically going to be an every-down player now with the injury to Arturo Modelo. He's going to be one of the X factors, if you will, of this offense, and hopefully he's able to perform well. Play action on 1st down. Puma on the run. Is a wide open man. It's Weaver. 10, 5, touchdown, St. Louis Dragons. Puma Whitlock connects with Griffin Weaver for the score, and the Dragons are back in the ball game. Big throw by Puma Whitlock. He's looking like himself more. He takes a shot downfield where Weaver's wide open. He makes a nice play after the catch, and it's a 1-score game just like that. So now Atlanta looks to respond. We might be looking at more of a high-scoring game compared to last week. 3rd and 4. Ritter's pass is caught for a 1st down by Pitts. That's a nice catch. Solid coverage there by Jordan Whitehead, but Pitts is able to come down with it for the conversion. 2nd and 3. Now with around 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Jake Matthews is in motion, and Bijan Robinson runs butt first into his offensive lineman. Orlin Babylon, the rookie out of LSU, will get credited with the tackle for loss. And so now it's a 3rd and 5 for Atlanta. Probably the biggest play of the game so far. The Dragons can really get some momentum here with a stop, and they don't get it. That's Demore Diggins again. Way too much separation, and that was super early within the route, too. Kyle Pitts was wide open from the start. Ritter makes the quick throw for the 1st down. Another 3rd and 5. Another 1st down, and it's Demore Diggins who allows this one as well. Romeo Doubs, who had the touchdown earlier, comes down with it. 2.5 minutes now left to go in the 1st half. Here's Bijan Robinson. Gets by Ojulari. Bijan brings it to the 20. This Falcons offense really has gone above and Bijan You get it? They've had a great game so far, 17 points, and they're looking to add more. 3rd and 6. Can they get another conversion? No! That's Jake Matthews who dropped the pass. Why they're throwing the ball to Jake Matthews on 3rd down, I could not tell you. That is quite the play call by Arthur Smith. And so Younghoe Koo will tack on 3. And the Falcons make it a 2-score game once again as it's 20-10. Big drive here for the offense. They have a 2-for-1 as they not only get to drive down the field here, but they start with the ball in the second half as well. Big opportunity to really get back in the game. Darwin Juskins breaks a tackle, and he's out of bounds. Big play after the catch by Darwin Juskins. I don't know why the defensive players are dapping each other up. They didn't make the play, but whatever. 2nd and 10. Puma under pressure goes short for Tykeem Keon Jr., weaving his way through defenders with a 1st down. The Dragons looking to move quickly now. They've got around 40 seconds and 2 timeouts, getting pretty close to field goal range. 2nd and 2. Puma with a strike for Jamison Williams, who gets into the 16-yard line, wrapped up by Bates. And the Dragons quickly call their 2nd timeout. They want to make sure they have as many opportunities to take a shot for the end zone. Puma connects with Darwin Juskins. He gets into the 1. The Dragons are this close, they can just taste it. They would go no huddle. 1st and goal. Puma runs into the defender. He's sacked. Puma thought he had an open rushing lane, but instead he ends up getting sacked. A costly play there, forcing the Dragons to call their last timeout. With 8 seconds left, they can afford to take another shot or 2 for the end zone. Puma on 2nd down is intercepted! Jesse Bates picks it off, and the Atlanta Falcons will hold on to their 2-score lead going into halftime. That was a horrible play by both Puma Whitlock and the intended wide receiver, Griffin Weaver. What was supposed to happen was that Weaver would run a fade and then quickly go towards the corner of the end zone. But as you can see here, Griffin Weaver only ends up going straight. That was Puma Whitlock's first read, so he goes with it for whatever reason, throws it into double coverage, and Jesse Bates picks it off. Really bad route by Weaver. Really bad decision by Puma to throw it into double coverage rather than go through his progressions. I think he rushed that play, being too focused on the clock. So the Falcons lead it by 10. Going into halftime, I feel like we could have really made a play there, but unfortunately we're unsuccessful. As for the other NFC game, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Minnesota Vikings 21-7. So Dallas will await the winner of this game. They will either travel here to Atlanta, or if we pull off the comeback, we would be heading to Jerry's World to face off against the Cowboys. It's been a very up and down first half on both sides of the ball. The offense started off really slowly, then they really started to click, and then Puma Whitlock turns the ball over. It's been another very inefficient start for Puma Whitlock. He's got to pick it up or else we're not going to win this game. We need to get the short and intermediate passing game going, and we also need to get the run game going. We have not really tried to establish the ground game at all. And then defensively, we have not done well in terms of allowing vertical plays. The Falcons have been able to stretch the field well. We got to limit that here in the second half. First play of the third quarter is a handoff to Swift. Up the middle, breaks a tackle. And Swift gets 15 yards. Of course, played his college ball here at the University of Georgia. That's just his 3rd carry of the game. The Dragons have to give him the ball more. 3rd and 7. Puma looks for Keon, breaks a tackle, and does not get the first down. Big tackle by Clark Phillips, and a big decision now upcoming for the Dragons. 4th and 1 and around midfield. I think it's too early to go for it, and so the Dragons are going to punt it. As we saw last week, the battle of field position proved to be very important, and this punt will be downed at the 1. What a punt by Presley Harvin, who's taken his game to another level here in the playoffs, and really good punt coverage as well by the rookie out of Alabama, Ronrakis Barber. So the Falcons are backed up all the way at the 1 as Bijan Robinson gets it up the middle, jukes away from Savage, flipped on his side as he gets 12 yards. And it looks like the Falcons are probably going to be out of safety territory. Much smarter play call to run it up the middle rather than what San Francisco did last week whenever they were backed up inside their own 5. 3rd and 6, Ritter scrambles, runs with it again for another first down. The Dragons set pressure into the backfield, but Ritter's able to elude the pressure and run for the play. Can't let that happen. Following play, it is caught downfield by Kyle Pitts. Atlanta gets it past the 50, and their offense is right back in business. The punt proves to be a non-impact as Atlanta's marching it down the field with ease. 3rd and 2 from the 32. That pass is caught for a first down. Drake London quickly heading to the ground as he gains around 7. The Falcons moving it very efficiently down the field as they look to add to their lead even more. Following play, Ritter fires for Kyle Pitts. He gets it to the 6. Atlanta's offense clicking on all cylinders this possession. They've got it really close to the end zone. Can they punch it in? 2nd and goal. Pitch for Robinson to the left side. Breaks a tackle. Bijan Robinson is in for a score. Honestly, I don't really think he was in the end zone, but they will give him the touchdown. And so it is now 27-10. The third quarter has not gone well here for the Dragons. And, well, they've got to get something going. It's pretty much now or never at this point, and the offense has got to wake up. 2nd and 3. Here's Swift up the middle with a hole, gets the first down. The Dragons looking to run the ball more. Even though they're down by 17, they can't necessarily panic with their play calls. It's a screen for Swift on 3rd and 9, and he does not get it, as it's going to be a gain of 6. Clark Phillips brings him down, and now to start the fourth quarter, the Dragons have a big decision upcoming. It's a 4th and 3 from around midfield, down by 17. The Dragons did not go for a 4th and 1 in the third quarter, but desperate times call for desperate measures. The offense stays on the field. It's incomplete! Jamison Williams, the intended target, and the ball is ripped away by Charles Burns. Puma Whitlock looks to go short. He looks to get the ball out quick, and it backfires. Falcons back with it, potentially looking to ice the game as Bijan Robinson gets hurt. That's a pretty big deal, as their other main running back, Tyler Algier, is already injured. It's going to be the 2 rookies, Steele Covey, number 1 right here, who does not get the first down, along with Jazir Salam getting the carries for the rest of the way. That was Khalil Mack with the tackle, and here comes the field goal unit. I'm a little bit surprised they're kicking here, even though Younghoe Koo is as good as he is, as he drills the kick from 53, and Atlanta ups the lead to 20. So now it's time for the kickoff, and it'll be received by the rookie Ronrakis Barber, his first career kickoff return. Barber's got blocks. Down the field. No one in front of him. He's off to the races with no flags. 10, 5, touchdown! Are the Dragons back in the game? What a play by Ronrakis Barber, the rookie out of the University of Alabama, on his first career kickoff return. The regular kick returner, Tornado Davis, got hurt today. The backup kick returner, Arturo Modelo, is already injured. Falcons back with it. 3rd and 9. Ritter up the middle, incomplete. The 2 receivers could not decide who was going to catch it, so neither of them do. Are the tides starting to turn for the Dragons? They've got quite the opportunity here on offense to bring themselves back into the game. First down from the 40. Puma Whitlock is intercepted. TJ Edwards picks it off, and this drive ends up being awfully short-lived. It only lasts 1 play. At least the Band-Aid was ripped off, I suppose. And Atlanta's right back in business. Costly play by Puma Whitlock. Here's Kyle Pitts down the field to the 13. Atlanta's back in the red zone. A touchdown pretty much finishes the game off for good. So the Dragons know they've got to get a stop here. 3rd and 3. Ritter rolls out to the right. Under pressure from Ojolari. And it's incomplete. Joseph Osai as well in the backfield, and that'll bring out the field goal team. Younghoe Koo's had a busy day. He's 3 for 3, make it 4 for 4, and it's 33-17. For those of you who have a little bit of optimism for the Dragons with under 6 to go, it is still a 2-score game, technically. Jamison Williams brings it to the 41. The Dragons already going no huddle. They know that time's not on their side, and they've got to move quick. 2nd and 10. Puma under pressure. He is sacked on the play with no one to throw it to. Charles Burns brings him down. 3rd and 22 now. Puma looking downfield. It is underthrown for Jamison Williams. Good coverage by Clark Phillips. Could the game be on the line here? 4th and 22 with under 5 to go. Dragons got to convert. Puma's going to have to take a shot downfield. It is incomplete. Broken up by Jesse Bates and A.J. Terrell. The Falcons get a stop, and now they can presumably finish the game off for good and punch their ticket to the conference championship. On 3rd and 2, the pass is dropped. Good defense by the Dragons, and Atlanta's going to go for it. I don't know why they're not kicking the field goal. Make it a 3-score game, but they want the first down to end it, and they do. This game is over. Or is it? It's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Dragons. The rookie, Jazir Salam, coughs it up. And St. Louis has the ball back. We can hold on to hope for a little bit longer. Khalil Mack was the one who ripped it out. And I'm pretty sure that's Orlin Babylon who recovered it. The Dragons still need 16 points, though. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, a stop, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. That's still a whole lot to ask for. Puma up the middle, threads the needle for DeAndre Swift, who gets it to the 41. St. Louis has got to move quickly. If they want any chance to come back in this game, they've got to score, and they've got to score fast. Puma on the run, launches it downfield for Jamo. He should have gone out of bounds, but he is going to be brought down to the 25. Puma's in the zone, goes up the middle for Likely. He's in the end zone. A quick 3-play drive for the Dragons finishes off with a touchdown, and St. Louis is going to continue to hold on for dear life for a little bit longer. Big-time drive for Puma Whitlock, who appears to have finally woken up. That's step one of the operation complete, but we still need a lot of things to go our way, including this 2-point conversion. Puma looks short. It's Keon who comes down with it, and the deficit has quickly been cut down from 16 to 8. It's sort of a one-score game. The Dragons will not go for the onside. Instead, they're going to kick it off. They believe in their defense to get the stop. The run defense has been pretty good. Bijan Robinson is injured. The backup, Tyler Algier, is inactive. So Atlanta's without their 2 best running backs. First down from the 25-yard line. Can Atlanta get a couple first downs and finish off the job? Jazir Salam, who with the bad fumble on the last drive, gets 2. Good start. Dragons not wasting their time. They're calling their timeouts immediately. 2nd and 8 now. Play action. It's a passing play. Ritter hit as he throws, incomplete. So the Dragons called an audible. They stacked the box because they figured there's no way Atlanta throws the ball. They do throw the ball. And stacking the box pays off because White was on a blitz. 3rd and 8. It's intercepted! Jordan Whitehead picks it off. And this comeback all of a sudden is very manageable. Can the St. Louis Dragons pull off a miracle in Atlanta? A huge turnover by Whitehead, who already forced a turnover earlier back in the first quarter. Can the Dragons tie this game? Puma up the middle, slides for a first down to the 22. They want to get another play off before the 2-minute warning. It's Swift. He's got room. Swift pushed down at the 7. Charles Burns is hurt, so the Dragons are going to get another play before the 2-minute warning. So now it's a 1st and goal from the 7, 2:03 to go. 5 wide, Puma, end zone, touchdown! Michael Gallup comes down with the score. And the St. Louis Dragons, who 2 minutes ago were down by 16 points and thought the game was over, can tie it with a 2-point conversion. An unbelievable comeback here from the Dragons, but they've got to still punch this in. Puma looks to throw it. He connects with Juskins. We're tied at 33. What a comeback from the Dragons, who at the start of the quarter trailed 30-10. 2 minutes ago, they trailed 33-17, and we thought the game was over. Now, if any team is going to choke this kind of lead, I suppose it would be the Atlanta Falcons, but there's no way even they could have seen this coming. Now, Atlanta still has a chance to end the game here. They've got plenty of time, 2 minutes, all 3 timeouts. The offense has cooled off. We'll see what they can do here. Ritter on first down, misfires. It's incomplete. Good coverage by Okuda, who originally was supposed to be a Falcon, but they left him unprotected in the expansion draft. 2nd and 10. It's a wheel route hauled in by Romeo Doubs. Down the field. He's out of bounds at the 31. A huge play for Doubs, and Atlanta's in field goal range. If they're smart with the clock, they should be able to presumably win the game. Here's Jazir Salam. He gets around 7, and the Dragons are not going to call either of their 2 timeouts quite yet. Got to assume they will after this play, though. 2nd and 3. Does Atlanta go back to the run? They do. It's Salam. He gets nothing. Dragons call their 2nd timeout, and the game pretty much rests on the shoulders of this 3rd and 3. A conversion puts Atlanta in position to end it, as Salam has nowhere to go. He loses 3 and is injured. Big play by Devin White, flying into the backfield to make the play. Salam is now hurt. Atlanta is down to their 4th-string running back, and they had to call a timeout there, so the Dragons still have one in their back pocket. Younghoe Koo makes his 5th field goal of the game, and so Atlanta leads it 36-33 with a little over a minute. This is very doable. The Dragons have had some big drives over the past couple of minutes. Puma Whitlock is on fire after playing like garbage for 3.5 quarters. And now it's time to see if he can complete one of the all-time greatest comebacks in the history of the National Football League and punch the Dragons' ticket to the conference championship. That was a great throw, but Weaver's unable to hold on, incomplete, as there's an injured Falcon on the field. 2nd and 10, Puma still in the zone, under pressure, rolls out to the left. Puma scrambling, looking downfield. It's caught! Weaver comes down with it to the 45. Dragons call no huddle. They're down to 20 seconds. Puma on the run, looking for Likely. He brings it to the 35, and the Dragons call their last timeout. So the Dragons have to be safe with this clock. You can go for the field goal now. You can also go for a couple of shots for the end zone. The offense is going to stay on the field for now, but you cannot get tackled in the field of play. Puma's looking for the end zone, looking for J-Mo. Double coverage! Incomplete. Clark Phillips and Jesse Bates are there to make the play. With 9 seconds now, the Dragons are not going to risk it. They're going to bring the field goal team out. It's a 52-yarder for Cameron Dicker to tie it and likely send us into overtime. It's up and it's right down the middle. Cameron Dicker ties it at 36. What a game this has been. What a 4th quarter. The Dragons looked like they were out of it until they weren't. Atlanta's not going to go for a Hail Mary. Instead, they go for a quick run with Ralston, who is playing running back now. He's the fullback. And through 4 quarters, we do not have a winner. This game is somehow, by the grace of God himself, going into overtime. For the coin toss, you know the drill. Tails never fails, and it lands on heads. Not ideal. So Atlanta's going to start with the ball. Obviously, with the new overtime playoff rules, there's not as much of an advantage to start with the ball. But it is still a little bit of an advantage because if both teams score, or I guess don't score, on their first 2 possessions, then it becomes next score wins. So you want to be the team who's in front of the 8 ball, and that's what Atlanta gets to do here. Let's see what the Falcons can do on the first drive of overtime. It's a handoff up the middle to the fullback, Alston, and he gets around 15. Atlanta's all out of running backs. Their top 4 backs are all injured, so it's the fullback who has to play running back, and he just got a really nice run. Following play, back to Alston with more room. He gets around 6. Why is this guy making good plays on the ground? 2nd and 4. Ritter alone in the backfield as the Falcons are going to go 5 wide. Short throw, hauled in. That's going to be a first down to the 47-yard line. Donovan Peoples-Jones comes down with it, and so the Falcons now have the ball past midfield. Following play, back to Alston with blocks. He's going to get the first and more to the 33 for a gain of 14. Why is this guy so good? If we lose in the playoffs because of a goddamn fullback, I swear to God. Following play, Ritter back to Alston, and this time he is met in the backfield for a loss of 3 by Devin White. Roads closed. 2nd and 13 now for the Falcons. They're going to run it again with Alston, and he gets around 2. I don't know why Alston has been the center of Atlanta's offensive game plan here in overtime. It's not like their season's on the line. Oh, wait, it is. 3rd and 11, it's a screen for Alston, and it's incomplete. Good pressure, good coverage, horrible play calling. Leave it to Arthur Smith to have all these shiny toys on the offense, and he hands it off to the fullback pretty much every play of overtime. 51-yarder for Koo, splits through. Younghoe Koo is 6 of 6 today. He has been automatic. So the Falcons score 3, and now this leads to an interesting scenario. If we don't score on this drive, we lose the game. If we score a field goal, Atlanta gets it back, and if we score a touchdown, we win. We're going to the NFC Championship. On first down from the 25, Likely in motion. It's a handoff up the middle for DeAndre Swift. Breaks a tackle. Swift fighting for yardage, still on his feet. Rumbling, bumbling, tumbling. He's got 69 yards on the day. Nice. Got to assume now that the Dragons aren't playing against the clock for the first time in like 20 minutes, that they're really going to try to utilize DeAndre Swift, who this time only gets 2. Nice play there by Arnold Ebiketie. 2nd and 8 now for the Dragons from the 40. Play action fake for Juskins. Puma Whitlock on the run. Has to throw it away as he's under a lot of pressure. And now the Dragons season potentially comes down to these two plays. 3rd and 8 from the 40-yard line. Puma looks to throw it. He will go short for Juskins. He gets the first down. And the Dragons offense will continue to live another day. Good play after the catch by Juskins. Now from the 47 on 1st down, Puma looks to throw it with nobody open. Rolls out to the right. He's going to run with it. And he's out of bounds for a gain of 5 as DJ Orleans is hurt. That's a big deal. He's their best pass rusher. 2nd and 5. Swift with the handoff, and he gets around 3. Tyron Smith is hurt. Wow, what a surprise. In the most important moments of our season, Tyron Smith is not on the field. Shocking, I know. 3rd and 3. Puma under a ton of pressure. He tries to get it for Jamison Williams, and it's incomplete. Puma knew the season came down to 2 plays. He couldn't just throw it away. And now it comes down to 1 play. 4th and 3. Season on the line. Puma looking for Likely. It's incomplete! And this game is over. The Falcons will hang on to survive. It looked like Isaiah Likely had a chance to be open there, but he was pushed off his route. That was Puma Whitlock's first read. He knew he had to get the ball out quickly, and he wasn't able to react in time of Likely losing his balance. So with that, the Falcons just barely survive. They're going to the NFC Championship to host the Dallas Cowboys, and our season is over. It hurts to lose here in overtime, but you know what? You got to give this team a ton of credit. We were down by 20 at the start of the 4th quarter. With 4 minutes to go, we were down by 16, and Atlanta had a first down in the red zone. 2 minutes later, the game was tied up. We worked miracles at the end of this game, and we had an opportunity to win it, but unfortunately, we fall just short. This game did show the resilience, the fight, and toughness this team had, but we didn't get the job done. 1 of 8 on 3rd downs, 0 for 3 on 4th downs. That'll do it. Desmond Ridder was pretty good, especially early. Made some questionable plays late, including the interception. As for Puma Whitlock, he was terrible for 3.5 quarters. He played great down the stretch. When the lights are the brightest, he makes plays. But I don't want to make excuses. He was flat out bad for most of the game. He's got to be better. I know he will be better, but his first playoffs was certainly a struggle. He had a lot of bad moments in both games. On the ground, Bijan Robinson played well before he got hurt and before Atlanta had to turn it over to their fullback. Both Robinson and Salam had costly fumbles. As for us, DeAndre Swift played really well. I would say the one regret I have with this game is that we didn't give him the ball more. He played really well. The problem is we didn't really set the foundation of the ground game in the first half, and then in the second half, we were playing against the clock the entire time. Kyle Pitts and Drake London stood out for Atlanta. As for us, Keon was solid. Griffin Weaver made some big plays. Jamison Williams made some big plays. We had a handful of drops, though, which I think were kind of costly for us. J-Mo had 2, Likely had 1, Likely had a big touchdown, but he also got pushed off of his route on the final play of the game. Jake Matthews as well had 2 drops. I don't know why you're throwing the ball to him twice, but okay, we'll roll with it. Up front, I thought Atlanta's offensive line was really good, much better than San Francisco's last week. But our defense still made some plays. Jordan Hicks and Devin White were flying around the field. Those 2 guys were awesome. Orlin Babylon had the best game of his career. We didn't get any sacks, though. We need more out of the pass rush. We did get 3 turnovers, though, 2 of which were late in the 4th quarter to really help us win the game. Shout out Younghoe Koo. He had 9 kicks and made all of them, 6 field goals. Cameron Dicker did his job as well, including the game-tying field goal at the end of the game. We could have gone for a 57-yarder with Dicker in overtime, but we decided not to. I felt more confident in that 4th and 3 play than kicking a 57-yarder, and I guess that ended up being a bad decision, considering we didn't convert, and, well, we lost the game. So an unfortunate end to our season, but it's still been a super fun year for this Dragons team, who very clearly has made plenty of strides on both sides of the ball, not only winning a playoff game, but battling until the end with the number 1 seed in the conference on the road. Let's simulate to the conference championships now. We know Atlanta's going to play against Dallas in the AFC. Both of the lower-seeded teams won. Jacksonville upsets top-seeded Kansas City. They will head out to Buffalo to face off against the Bills. So let's see what the Super Bowl matchup is in the next episode as we will recap the season as a whole. I'm planning on combining the season recap and free agency. That way, the offseason is going to be one episode shorter. I know you guys are all going to appreciate that. Players of the week, by the way, Desmond Ridder, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Whitehead, very well deserved. He was fantastic. And Tre'Davious White. So in the next episode, we're going to recap the season. We're going to recap the college season quickly. And we're going to go into free agency. And we've got a number of players who are due for contract extensions. Our two best pass catchers, Jamison Williams and Isaiah Likely, are free agents. We've got some key starters on defense, including Jordan Whitehead, who had the game of his life today against Atlanta, along with other starters as well on both sides of the ball. We have plenty of money, $130 million to spend, and we've got an opportunity to really make this roster better and truly open up our title contention window now that we know that we've got a legit franchise quarterback, even though he was balls in the playoffs, and a team that clearly has the culture and the identity to potentially make a deep playoff run. I mean, we almost did it this year, and going into the year, we certainly were not supposed to be this close to the NFC Championship, but here we are. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode and the season. Certainly a sad way to go out, but a really fun game. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.